She got some glasses in her pocket.
I can't buy my glasses. I'm using Jade. Anybody, sunglasses.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
And it's magic. It's magic. It's magic. We're doing it. It's magic. I'm so glad to be here. We're on Sunda TV, talk show on the go, whatever you want to call it. But I just know I'm very happy to be here with these three individuals who really make a difference in show business and lifestyle and all of that. I'm here with Jay Jones. I'm here with Akil Anderson and Tasha Counts. Each one has a different reason for being in show business. Each one makes show business pop in its own way. And I'm going to let each one tell you. I'm going to start out with the makeup woman of them all who's seen everything backstage. Tell us what really goes on backstage when they show you how they want to look, and you know they can't look like that, Tasha.
It's very interesting, case by case, with who you're dealing with and who the talent is, or just your everyday person who just wants to look good, feel good. Most of them are Cali girls, and they're inspired by the Kardashians, and a lot of them want to look like Kim Kardashian. And I have to express to them over and over, Kim Kardashian doesn't look like Kim Kardashian, you know. She has gotten work done, you know. So, I mean, we can do some fillers, you know. We can do some enhancements, and there we go, because makeup can go but so far. I can paint, and I can be somewhat of a musician. However, I cannot change your face entirely. But it's fun. It's fun transforming people, making people look good, feel good. You know, I am a hair and makeup therapist. I should up my rate for what I endure during services. Sometimes it can be mentally taxing where I get home and I'm like, oh my God. And I have to decompress. I just need a minute just because it's a lot of energies. But I love what I do. I wouldn't change it. I moved to California for this. Been here 7 years.
From where?
From New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl. Where we say water. Okay, when we thirsty, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know, we want our coffee.
Right.
That's right.
You know,
We can talk.
that's how we talk.
Yes.
You know, but I love it. I wouldn't change it. Like, it was the best decision that I could have ever made. And I've met some pretty really like cool people coming out here. I didn't know a soul, so I started from the bottom, and I got out here and I was grinding, hustling. You know, when you have that East Coast, you know, mentality, you got that hustle already in you. And I got out here and I hit the pavement, and, you know, networking, getting to events, socializing, you know, moments that I didn't want to, you know, but, you know,
But
you
you're
got to,
here.
I'm here.
You made it happen.
I made it
And you're
happen.
sitting right next to
Sunda.
me. Yeah, me. But,
Hey, my Jersey girl.
hey, we are all in the black here. We are in the Black Productions, as a matter of fact. Is that correct? Is that the name of the production?
Yeah, that's the
company?
name.
Did I remember
Mhm.
that, Mr. Akil Anderson?
Yes, yes.
Now, you have a big job, too, because people get upset when you get an angle, I'm sure, wrong. Do they ever say something like, that was a bad angle? Like, no, the makeup artist. I mean, you have to work for makeup artists. I know that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, throughout the years, a lot of different jobs. You know, I might have a talent who I might have to look out for, as far as like if their hair is out of place or they don't look good or something else on camera. So, you know, I don't necessarily get blamed for angles. I think most of the camera guys would do that. I mean, I shoot camera, but most of my career has been like a field producer or story producer, or, you know, doing that kind of stuff, producing all the elements. So, but, you know, I was the first AD on a movie, and I didn't have a second, and I didn't have a key PA, and I didn't have a PA.
Wow.
And I was like, I would be running to the makeup room, making sure that these people for this scene was ready and in the chair getting ready. And then I would run down here and finish shooting the other scene. And then we were running out of time. So then I split two crews, and I sent the director and the DP over there. And then, you know, me and the producer went over here or whatever. And we would, you know, switch it up like that. We would be shooting, when they was reading the script, we'd be shooting upstairs. And then when they was shooting downstairs, we'd be reading the script upstairs. So I literally had to do that one time as a first AD. It was, but we kicked ass, we got it done, you know. But
You know what I think was remarkable is that the last Mooney documentary I was telling you, and you were there. You made the documentary. Paul Mooney is such a wonderful, wonderful memory for all of us. Not to go off topic, because we're going to get to you, Jay Jones. But I did want to say something. Did you see the Wayne Brady piece?
Recently?
I posted it today.
No.
Yeah, he got upset that Paul Mooney had said something about, said that he made Brian Gumbel look black or something.
Yeah, that was that.
It
But that
was funny,
wasn't that a long time ago though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, why are
yeah.
they putting that now? So now
Yeah.
my question is hashtag, what would Mooney say?
Yeah.
And you captured everything. You should see the documentary, Jade. The way he captured it was Paul talking about everything that was going to happen. He prognosticated what was going to happen, and he did. I mean, the way you had the stills overlaying his words, you know, like the white man's going to go crazy. You'll see when white people go crazy, and then you had the scene at the White House, and it was just undeniable.
Wow.
And where could we see that?
I'm
We
not
really
sure.
do want to know.
I'm not sure. Are you talking about
The one that was at the memorial.
Cleopatra? Oh, okay. Well, we're not putting it out yet per se.
Oh.
They are archiving, so it's probably going to be, a big Paul Mooney thing. That all of that stuff is going to be a part of.
And you're a big part of that.
Yeah.
You're a big
So,
part of that.
Yeah, I've been working with the executive who I actually met Paul and worked with Paul in 2006. Same executive.
Wow.
So she's doing that stuff. So hopefully they'll put something together. But
That would be great because we would love to see it. I was telling Jay just to bring in Jay Jones, who has done styling for everyone, and now you're coming back into this world of a different climate. How are you going to deal with telling these 60-year-old women you can't wear that miniskirt with that cellulite? Unless you're wearing your support hose.
I think that you have to approach people a little different in this time because a lot of people thought that their way of styling and doing things was always correct. A lot of things have changed in the marketplace, and a lot of times you just have to adapt to really what's going on. The fit and the construction, the specs are totally different now than they were almost 30 years ago. A lot of the vendors, a lot of the luxury designers have either passed on or they have new designers who are in place doing stuff. So they have to be re-educated as to what really works. I think you really have to have a good sense of the body because you have to study the body and the various shapes to know that certain things, not everything works on the same body. You can't be, small and a little stout and think that you can wear something that is a two-piece and it's hanging out and it's okay. It's not okay.
But then the argument comes up that it is okay. You have to embrace your body and embrace yourself.
Body
Yeah, but
positivity.
I think then you need to get a full-length mirror
Oh.
because a lot of people don't do that. They don't look at,
would you tell Lizzo that?
huh?
Would you tell Lizzo that?
You know what? She is owning her size and what she stands for, and that's great. But at the same time, I think you also still have to look at yourself and feel positive in your image when you step out. And if she can do that and continue to do so, then God bless her. Seriously. Who am I to say that that's my opinion and she feels comfortable in her skin and what she's representing, then let her do that.
Don't you think it pushes like not being healthy? I don't know. I don't know when it all changed that I have to worship that. I get it. When we were modeling, it was size 0 to size 2.
And it still is in New York. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
If you're not 6 feet, do you really think you're getting on that runway? Do you think you're going to get booked in Europe? Probably not. If you're 5'9", okay, you may have a chance. But a lot of people are, I think, misled in the industry of modeling. A lot of them think, there's a lot of things you can do. You can do hand modeling. You can do
Right. Parts modeling. It's
parts modeling. Absolutely.
But we did fit modeling.
Absolutely. You can still do that. A lot of manufacturers still do that.
I think personally, I think they mix a lot of stuff up nowadays, right? So it's like you can, for instance, like Lizzo's one of them type of people where it's like, you don't have to put your ass out on the side of the Lakers game to get attention that the models was getting because America might say this is what we like or this is what we push per se. So you don't have to go that far and then call it some kind of empowerment. Personally, that's what because you can have empowerment all within a lot of things that might be considered, out of the norm or taboo. But I think she just goes a little too far with it because then there's no point. Like if your point makes sense, then once it goes past making sense, then it's like you kind of trolling.
And I do. I understand exactly what you're saying. I think what happens a lot of times, I think our moral compass has changed drastically. And as a result of it, there are a lot of things that we would never do that we have a pass on. So there's a fine line, and if you cross that line, then everybody wants to blast you on social media.
Right.
And, at the end of the day, I think you have to say, this is what I've always said. If you look at yourself going out and you know it's wrong, then it's probably wrong.
Yeah.
But if you feel good and you feel empowered, then you say, you know what, I'm having a good day. Whether anybody else thinks so or not, you could go out and look a hot mess. Do you know what I mean? But it's all up to the individual.
I had one question for you. What would you, because you are expert on this, what would your definition of fashion? What is your definition of fashion?
I personally like classic, tailored items. I like things that are timeless, that you can pull back from the 50s, the 60s and incorporate it. I think that it's up to you to develop your own style as a person. Everyone has something that they like or they go to that makes them feel comfortable. But I like timeless classics myself. I like things that I could go back and say, oh my goodness, I have a dress that was my mother's from the 50s. And if I put that on, I can go back in time and just feel amazing wearing that. It just depends on the individuals. I've seen some people that look like I call them fashion victims. And they do. They do. They
I can
look like
respect that, but what I don't get, like I was watching this the Kanye West interview
Yeah.
on Drink Champs the other day, and like he was saying a bunch of real stuff, but then he would say like for instance, I've been to a Balenciaga store,
Yeah.
and it'll be like a regular white T-shirt or a yellow T-shirt, and it'll be like $1,500
Yeah.
or $1,200, and it's a regular T-shirt. It's not like some shit with some spikes on the side or some Mad Max shirt or.
It's probably Sea Island cotton, which is the most expensive cotton.
True.
And it's probably you're paying for the heat transfer.
No, but see
on
that.
that.
See, when you get into intangible, I think you're paying more because I was in St. Louis, and they had a Macy's, and the Macy's was closing, and so I was like, I'm gonna go in that Macy's on the last day and get all this stuff
absolutely.
cheap, right? So I go on the last day, there's nothing there but like shelves. They're selling the shelves,
Oh yeah, yeah, they
but it
do
was
that.
a shitload of mink coats, and the mink coats, and I didn't really know too much about the material at the time, so it was a coat. And it was originally priced for $11K, somewhere around there. And they were selling it for $2,500. It was the middle of summer, and in St. Louis is blazing hot. I mean,
Yeah.
100 degrees.
That's a good
So I had the money,
it is.
right? And I was like, should I get this coat? And I'm like, but it's super hot. Come to find out, well, I knew then, but the coat was all cashmere on the inside.
Oh yeah.
And wool on the outside it was like a businessman coat, like a long
yeah.
full all the way down to the ankle
Cool.
businessman
Oh, yeah.
coat. But it was cashmere on the inside. I was like,
yeah.
I should have got that coat because that coat would have still been worth $10,000 today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's when I asked like that.
Yeah.
When I ask you what is fashion, like I get certain things, but then some things they just go beyond
That's
sense.
timeless.
That's a timeless piece.
Yeah.
Timeless,
Yeah.
and they're timeless pieces.
Yeah.
They're things
And that's
that
what
are
you were
collected.
explaining, like timeless
Absolutely.
pieces. You said a bunch
Absolutely.
of that stuff. But then you got people who just got like literal, like you said, it might be good cotton, but the quality to me, like even when I felt it, it wasn't like, I'm gonna pay $1,000 for
A
this
mink is going to
t-shirt.
hold this value of T-shirt, isn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said, what is fashion then? Like,
And most people don't realize most T-shirts are about 2.5 yards of fabric. That's
Yeah.
it, and that's really what you're paying for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Certain
it.
things I'm like,
certain
no.
things, yeah.
I'm like a T-shirt.
You're paying
I'm
for
like,
the
I'm not paying
name.
over five. I'm not. First of all, I'm not even paying no more than probably $5 if I could.
See, I
Okay,
used-
I may spend a little bit more than that, but I feel like after $100 for a shirt, I'm like, okay, that's excessive because you're not gonna wear it but so many times, and then you do find some people who do wear logos and they know they spent that money on it, so you can see them wearing the same thing.
Oh,
over and over.
absolutely.
Like you're gonna know this is Balenciaga
wearing
and
yours.
Gucci. I have my logo on. You
Sure.
feel me? I'm gonna pay for me. I'm gonna bet my money on me. Because all of these other, designers, you're just making them more wealthy. So I'm like, I have my limit. Obviously, I have a limit to what I'm going to spend. I love nice things. Don't get me wrong. But I just can't see myself going to every designer store. I see some people and they look tacky. They'll have a Prada boot on, Gucci shirt, a Dior bag. And I'm like, you're a label whore, okay?
Yeah.
And you're not even piecing it together right. Because you can have a nice bag and have a $20 dress on
Absolutely.
and still look
Absolutely.
luxurious.
Absolutely.
Very wealthy.
Absolutely.
But it's just how you put it together.
Absolutely.
Well, Go ahead.
There are just certain people that are regal, that have class, no matter what. They can throw on a trench coat, add some Timbs, and do something else, and just look amazing with some diamond earrings and rock that look walking down the block with a pair of jeans, and nobody would know that what they had, they might have spent $20 or they could have gotten it at a thrift shop. It just
Right.
depends on your personal style.
Yep, I agree.
And either you have it or you don't. There's no in between.
You've never given anyone a chance with style. That's for sure. Well, Taj and I had the experience of working on a set where there was a woman that we thought had we thought it was a joke at first.
Oh.
Now, how do you feel about that? I have to address it to you because you're the only man here. The
BBLs.
implants.
Breast implants? Or
No.
BBL.
butt implants?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What's
What about it?
BBL?
Brazilian butt lift.
Oh.
Oh.
What about it? What's the
How do
question?
We
you-
saw
how do you
one
feel
that looked
about
like
it?
it was squared off by accident, like something happened.
She just went a little crazy
Are
I
you
mean,
with the fat transfer.
It's opinion. That's opinion. But I'm a natural guy, so I don't really.
Right.
I like natural.
Right.
Yeah, and she was an attention whore. So she was like,
really
everyone look at my
was.
booty. And so she was doing everything possible in that bodycon dress so everyone could keep looking at her. But it
You couldn't help
it was
staring at
it
it.
was it looked very hard. It was very
Yeah. To me, that's kind of more like, especially with the culture of it now, with it being popular, it's more like
That's what I was trying to explain to Sunda. I was like, that's the thing now.
it's like followers.
Yeah.
It's just like okay. So like, give you an example. Because I'm not super old, but I'm kind of old school, right? So I remember when like the strip clubs didn't have a bunch of tattoos and shit. Like every girl didn't have tattoos, fake breasts, and a fake booty in the strip club.
All right, they just worked with what they had.
It was just different ones, and then
You be like, damn, that's talent. She made that clap, but she has no ass. Amazing.
some of them had ass, but it was like real ass from like Virginia or something. Yeah.
Was that ham they were
I was
eating?
like, damn, how did she do that?
Was that ham
I'm
they were
impressed.
eating?
I'm not giving you no money, but I'm impressed. How did you do that, ma'am? You have nothing, and it's clapping.
Yeah, no, they had skills, but then like after 2005
I want to say like
or that's when it started to change, maybe 5
it
to
was
8.
more like the boobs. Then I feel like
Yeah.
the
Then the
enhancement
butt
in the
came in
boob.
like 12.
I was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
Once the it's the start of
But it's like
Instagram.
everybody now. So what I
Yeah.
mean is like if you go to I haven't been to a strip club recently, but if you go to a strip club,
Well, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Let me
that's the
tell
last
ya.
one I was
Yeah.
in. So
You in there, you like, oh no.
but
They
it's
have
like
no
all the
limitations.
same thing for the better part. You still gonna find a couple girls that are regular, but for the better part, it's like everybody done copied up. They took all their money and went and got a fake butt and
Because they
went and
gonna
got
feel like
some
they'll
fake
get more
boobs.
money from it.
And now they all the same. And then it's like it's hard. It don't feel right, and the buoyancy ain't there.
It's just
Yeah.
not there. It doesn't feel right. I remember being hugged by somebody with implants, and she bruised me.
Yeah.
She bruised me on my left boob. It was so bruised.
That's the thing about implants, because I was in Plano, Texas one time, and it's these two girls, right? And so one of them had just got her boobs done. I guess her husband's an oil guy or whatever, so she was like bragging about it. Like, yeah, you want to see my husband? He just got my boobs. And so in the club, she pulls her chest up and was like, feel it. And it was like
Hard?
really hard.
Yeah.
And so I was like, is that a thing? Like, are they usually hard? Like,
I don't
I
know.
think it's a stretch, yeah, of the skin once
They
it
have
like
to take a mallet and hit it to make it stop because it encapsulates and hardens.
oh,
probably the
Wow.
scar tissue and
Yes.
everything.
a mallet.
A mallet.
Oh gosh.
Medical mallet. It's called encapsulation. I
Wow.
obviously have not had it done.
Yeah. I've had one client, she hugged me and I was like, ooh,
That hurt.
It was a little hard. I'm like, Jesus.
It
Loosen
really-
it up.
It really does.
Maybe get the water instead of the silicone.
But you know, men are doing it for their pecs.
Yeah.
And
They
they
do.
look good. And their calves.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
That
On the
looks a
calves. It
little
looks
fake.
a little, that's
The
weird.
pecs can fool you.
Yeah.
It's like a boob job, right, for guys?
Yeah, but I don't know why. They even have a surgery now for guys to make them taller.
What, break their legs?
They break their hips and their legs, and it takes about a year for you to start running again.
Oh, I heard that. No, I heard that they put like a
Wait a minute.
No, they
bone
break
in
it.
there.
They break your hip, they break all of that, and then whatever they do to lengthen you, I think you could get about 4 inches off of it. And it takes, it said after 4 months, you're walking again, and then by like 6 or 8 months, you're like able to jog, and then within a year, you'll be able to run again. But they have surgery where you could get extra 4 inches for height. I'm serious.
It's all like steroids to me. If you remember back in the 80s.
If you're short, you're
You remember
short.
steroids?
Yeah, and then everybody who's on steroids, once they start working out, all that shit just falls.
Yeah.
Everything.
And you
Everything.
look like a Shar-Pei dog. I keep telling them this is your future. I don't mind making undergarments or clothing that lifts you up a little bit, but I wonder how men feel when they're fooled. Like I told you, my friend John said, women be fooling you.
Yeah.
They go home, take off their hair, and then take off their pants, and all that fat just rolls out
The
like
flubber.
that.
The flubber.
But you know what? It's still
crazy.
real.
Yeah.
It's still real. And I don't know if I can even. What's your biggest pet peeve when it comes to that, though, like with plastics? Like when I was talking to my mom about plastic surgery, I was like, listen, I'm thinking about getting plastic surgery. She was like, oh, you're going to get your breast done? I was like, no. Like, Mom. She goes, well, you're in show business. You don't have anything. I was like, no. Putting up my breast. I said, I want to breastfeed. And she was like, you're not going to have any kids. I was like, okay. And she's so positive. And I went for a consultation in the plastic surgeon's office, and everyone thought I was there for my breasts.
And what were you there for?
My second chin. I only needed one. You just can't be that skinny. It's in the Chinese phone book, and that's not racist. Because there are no phone books. You can't cancel me, I'm canceled. I'm canceled.
There are a lot of chins in the Chinese phone book, though.
You can't make that up. And I have more chins than Chinese phone books.
Cannot.
And they took that before picture, and I was like, ooh. And I was like, wait a minute, I got moles like Morgan Freeman. He was like, you gotta see a better Oh my God. Well, you know what Paul Mooney used to do after my acting? I'll talk about the nail salon. He said, yeah, after she come out, when they see niggas come out, they say, get the machine! Get the machine! And you know I noticed that after he said that when the black people.
Wow.
You gotta say that in Vietnamese. slang.
What machine?
Because out here they have Vietnamese, and back where we're from, they're all Korean.
Korean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have seen them do that. They say, "Oni, oni, my sister," and then they come back with this machine, right? I want to know what they say.
Why gotta be black people though? Everybody got crusty feet.
I know, but when we do it, you can see it. They get mad when I ask them to do my massage
Oh,
with
my
Vaseline. They say, "Why you want to use it?" I say, "Because I'm ashy when I leave here."
I bring my own massage oil because that joint be too water big.
There's water in there.
Why you doing a massage with Vaseline?
Yeah, I'm gonna wash my feet.
They got massage oil.
I know, but then you water it down, right?
They water it down.
You water it down.
Vaseline too thick though. It's too thick.
No,
They probably put a
I'll be
little
hot
lotion.
as shit in there.
They'll put a little bit of lotion. But no, if you doing it in the wintertime, it's the best thing.
Oh,
But in the
yeah.
summertime, you slip and sliding.
Slide out the
And you picking all the dirt up off the
the
street.
worst.
So when you walk outside, you might as well be bare feet. Like
well,
that, that petroleum picking up everything.
oh my God. They came after me with a knife once. I said, oh
Oh,
no.
that's funny.
I said, no, I'll see a doctor. You don't do that. You don't do that. No, no, a little bit. I was like, no. Cut me a little bit. How would they cut you and you're bleeding and they're like, you want to pay now? No. I'm in pain now. I'm in pain And all of that's changed since. I mean, even in styles. I mean, look at those nails they have. Remember, we saw Glodine at the reception. That was Barry Whitesacks. And I remember when I first met her, like 25 years ago, she had these nails that twirled.
Ooh.
And I said, I have to ask you,
How do you clean your butt?
wipe when you go to
Exactly.
the bathroom? I said, let me answer very carefully. And she did not laugh.
She-
Barry White did not laugh. And I laughed. The next time I saw her was with you. She's like, I know you. I was like, I had a big mouth.
That is a microaggression of fingernails, by the way.
My microaggressing fingernails now? Oh my God. Something else I've done. Anti-fingernails. I'm not woke.
No. Well, recently, my cousin's best friend, he had a really, really bad asthma attack. And he's actually hospitalized. He went, got put into a induced coma.
Wow.
And it was crazy. Now he smoked hella weed, but he needs a breathing machine with his damn asthma. Okay, I'm sorry. It's not funny. But we laughed about it after when he pulled through, when he woke up.
Right.
And when I went to the hospital, I saw his girlfriend. And I saw her nails like this. And I said, instantly, I couldn't even hold myself. I said, how you wipe your ass?
Exactly.
And she was like, she explained it. She didn't get offended. But I was straight to the point. I said hi. I gave her a hug. But then when her hand went up, I was like, how do you wipe your ass?
Oh my God.
And she said, well, I take the tissue and I wipe it around my fingers and I use my knuckles. I said, okay, so you use your,
TMI.
like, wipe it and you use a, I was just like,
Told you all that.
yeah. I mean, I guess I asked the question, how do you wipe your ass?
She used her knuckles and she over here doing it.
She wiped it and she said she wiped her ass. I was like, oh, okay, that's how y'all do it. Because I'm just like, oh, I'm thinking about fingernail, you ripping your asshole.
Oh, yes. Yes.
One wrong poke. I'm just saying.
Right, you
Lord.
don't have to be in jail for it.
No. You do it in your own bathroom.
And they charge you extra for the nail polish.
Extra for
These are
nipple.
all the things that you don't know that men don't know. Well, listen, because men sometimes, I had a brother, he would strike a match on his heel. And he would never put anything on them.
Wow.
Except the powder. He always smelled like foot powder.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah, athlete's feet.
Desinex.
Oh yeah.
Is it Desinex or that's babies?
It's the gold,
No, that's
gold
babies.
something.
Gold bonds?
Some
The
gold
gold
bond.
Men have to do so
Yeah.
much, but they don't have
Yeah.
to do what we do.
I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for the lady to be like, oh, I use a bidet.
I want a bidet.
That's what you need. If you're gonna commit to long fingernails, you need to invest in the
Yeah,
bidet then.
absolutely.
You know what? We should call Long Nail Bidet Company. God, she can't make her friends or her friends
At all.
at all. Can you imagine? I mean,
Imagine dropping something.
can you imagine?
How's she picking it up?
She can't play jacks.
No, not at all.
She'd never be in the hood. Don't you think that we set the styles, though, when you think about the hood rats when we come from?
Yeah.
For real, though, when you go to the projects, they are already setting the style. Don't
Yeah.
you think?
You know what's weird about that is that, have you ever heard of stumping the toe?
Stomping
Have
the
you ever
toe?
heard of stumping the toe?
Dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
heard of that? Like my cousin stumped her toe because they used to double dutch, right? And so
Oh
it
yeah.
was- and she had on sandals and like stumped the toe, and I never knew what that was.
Wait a minute.
She
I don't
jammed
know.
it.
No, it's
Stump-
if you stump hard enough with a bare foot, you can bust your toe open.
Oh.
Yes,
We also.
yes, yes. It's called stumping the toe. So that's why I asked, have you ever heard of it? But
No, stumping the toe. I'm thinking
'cause
like
girls,
with the corner.
it was
Yeah.
girls that I heard that happen because they would literally jump rope and stuff. And if you double dutch or you jump rope
Yeah.
and you jump hard enough with
Yeah.
flat feet, you can like bust your toe, your big
my-
toe open.
You
Oh, no.
are kidding me.
No.
Because let me tell you something. It ain't easy growing up mixed in Patterson, New Jersey. Them girls was like, you ain't playing double dutch with us. And Mom Lois said, you gonna let her play double dutch. I'm gonna kick the mask around you. And then I got all tangled up and fell down. You know, you can't, plus don't be light skinned and can't jump. Don't be light skinned and can't
See,
jump.
I was the one
okay?
who only had the rope on the block, so.
Wait a minute, I could only turn it.
You can only turn it.
Yeah, they said you could turn. I was like, 22. You had to get the neck together. That's how the neck all began with us. People were like, where'd they get that from? Double dutch.
Double dutch.
Wait, the rope. We gotta even out the rope.
Right. Then wait, jump. And you know, I was just saying, we thought of things that we don't hear anywhere else except in the black community, and I'm wondering if it was something from Africa. I really do. Mama la Kumala, Kumala Vista, Mama la Kumala Vista.
I remember
oh,
that.
Naughty, 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 Vista,
Yeah.
Vista, Vista. It's not Spanish.
I don't know.
It's African.
Yeah.
I never even heard of that.
Well,
What's-
you know, you got to realize too. I mean, you can't just say African because African is a guy's name. Africos. So you got people who left, quote unquote, the mainland or motherland,
Motherland, you're right.
hundreds of thousands of years before Columbus, who was over here
Right, to begin with.
with culture. You know.
Yes.
So that a lot of that stuff comes from those mixed places.
It has to. There's so many things we do that they do, like when we talk without moving. You know what I'm saying?
That's the nod Steve Harvey gave me all that time.
Steve Harvey
That was the
did?
nod Steve Harvey used to give me when
Oh, is that? He did
was I telling her that story?
No, you were
Oh,
telling me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
Tell
okay.
me.
No, it was just I was telling. I used to work talent on the Steve Harvey show years ago, like 2005.
White people love Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey's big time, and I was talent, so he would come up in his Bentley. Like I would be in the talent area. Like my job was to hang out, wait for the celebrities to get there, see what they want, and then walkie somebody to get it. That was
Right.
pretty much my job, and then make sure their stuff was clean. So I would just get the lot
Right.
maintenance to clean up and make sure it smelled good in the
Right.
rooms and stuff. So I would see him every day because he would come for rehearsal and he would stay in the dressing room until showtime. And so, you know, I would say, "What's up?" every time. And then he, you know, first he might say what up once, and then after that, he would just give me a head nod. So if the months of giving me a head nod or not replying, one day I didn't say what's up. And so then he was like, he stopped, and walking back to his dressing room, he stopped, and he was like, "What's happening, brother?"
What?
And went into his dressing room. And so, but yeah, I was telling him that story earlier, but it was like, you know, it's this weird thing, like where when you get to a certain celebrity who might feel themselves a little bit,
Right.
they get, kind of weird. You know what I
You
mean?
got kind of weird.
Yeah.
And that's too bad because there are a lot of people in there. I'm telling you, white women love Steve Harvey. Cried about Steve Harvey not being on. I mean, love Steve Harvey. And he was just so positive about things. But I thought he gave the worst love advice. Don't you?
I didn't listen.
You never listened to him on the morning show?
No.
No, that's not your taste, right?
No, not at all.
No, I have to tell you though, I've seen him go from like the Duke hairline look. Remember that look he had?
The
The
box.
toupee?
Yeah, that's what it was. I was trying not to say it.
I said the
was trying not
box,
to say
the
it.
box, the Brooklyn, or whatever you
Hey,
want to
but you know
call
what?
it.
I understood it though because I did my research. I always do my research, right? Now I realized like Steve Harvey was just getting recognized in 1994, right? He was already almost 40 then. So by the time I was working with him, he was well in his 50s, maybe 55,
Okay.
56. And then he really had maybe a good 10 of celebrity
Okay.
before that. So I figured it was kind of bitter. Like, y'all wasn't fucking with me when I was 20, 30, 40, and now you kill Steve Harvey. Fuck you. Fuck you and fuck you. That's all I got it. Because at the end of the day, we went out with the production manager after, and she told us, like, Steve Harvey bumped me up specifically. I started as a stand-in. That's where I started on that show. Then I moved in as a PA, and then they got me from production and brought me as a talent assistant.
Wow.
But it was Steve Harvey because the job I was working you were supposed to be union. Like, it was certain things, but they grandfathered and overstepped because they wanted, like, young black guys working and
Right.
stuff. So when I learned that, I was like, I don't give a fuck if he talked to me or not. Like, you helped my career,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
you know? So it's weird shit. You know how this town is. It's a
It's
lot
so
of weird shit.
weird.
It's just gray and weird
Because
and
he
shit.
had a really great show.
Yeah.
Now, why did they cancel it?
I don't know. I don't know why they canceled this recent show. I know they canceled him after the Monique thing, after he had the the show with Monique. And it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
A live
2
show?
weeks later. No,
No, she
Monique,
came on.
Yeah, she had her issue with trying to boycott Netflix and stuff.
Why
Yeah.
would she do that on this show?
But he went on there. He they were having beef. And
He
she-
brought her on his show
and brought her on
to kind of
to squash
the
it.
issue, if you
Yeah.
will.
So and
And,
he
yeah.
apologized to her. If she wronged her or whatever the case may be, or however she felt, because she was very upset. And I don't know. All of a sudden, they said Kelly Clarkson was replacing his time slot, and he was off. And then they put him on Facebook. And then I don't know if he still has the Facebook.
Probably. I know he has that syndicated morning show. That's
Yes,
like
he
his
does.
bread and
Yeah.
butter right there.
That's his bread and butter.
Because he can do it from Houston and he don't have to do nothing.
He's been doing that for years.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember
Yeah.
I was in college. I would hear him, and Tom Joyner between
Yeah,
the
I
two
would
in the
watch
morning.
listen to Tom.
And tell us
Joyner.
about what's going on in the Carolinas over there. What's the difference? How different is the styling over there and over here in show business?
Believe it or not, you have a lot of transplants. You have a lot of people from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut that have basically relocated to the Carolinas. You got a lot of people from California. So you have a lot of styling. You have a lot of things that take place in South Park.
Are you north or south?
I'm in North Carolina.
Okay.
So you have a lot of different styles, a lot of edgy styles, because Charlotte is the second banking center outside of New York. You have a lot of money in that area, so you have a lot that goes on. You've got Michael Jordan that's there with the Hornets. You've got the football team with
You got
the
Duke.
Panthers.
Isn't Duke?
Duke.
Yeah.
You've got Duke there. You've got a lot of different things that go on. You know, you've got all your college.
I was going to say, isn't that a college town too?
It is a college
Isn't it-
town.
was it
It's
the-
big.
NCAA?
You've got
Yeah.
you've got UNC. You have Duke. You have Davidson College. You have Queens College. You've got some. You've got Central Piedmont. You've got a lot of colleges in the area. And as a result, it's a big college town. So you know what happens. They show out and show out.
They show out.
Acting the
And
fool.
show out. So, but you have a lot of different influences, and especially since it's still in the East Coast,
So you can still definitely do your thing over there.
you can definitely still do that as
Well, I
well.
can't wait for you to transfer over
Yeah,
here, by the way.
yeah.
Because I want to see how you're going to redecorate this brother over here so that he's the new Steve Harvey, okay? Because you got some
Well-
funnies, man. You need to go on stage, brother. I know you got some stories.
But you know what it is? I have a team of people that I work with, that I've worked with since New York, since I went to college. And we've been friends and worked in the Garment Center the entire time. Most of us have worked at the same companies, and we have a unit that works well. Do you know when you work with somebody, you know exactly if something happens or you're looking at something, you're like, I know exactly what you're thinking. I know exactly where to get that. And I work with a designer, Bugatti. He's out of Brooklyn, went to design school in New York, and he does luxury items. So it's great. You know, we've all worked together, from Ralph Lauren to Liz Claiborne to Theory, Betsy Johnson, and a lot of other.
Who's the hottest now? Who's the hottest? What's it? Who's it?
Well, you know what? I think it really depends on what you like. Everyone is different. Everything is different. The industry is so different. The Garment Center is not what it used to be. Everything around the world has changed. A lot of times what I do now is I watch what's going on in Europe. I used to go to Europe 3 times a year, but now I watch to see what's going on, especially with COVID. And you watch to see where the trends start, because they usually start in Europe and then they filter it back over to the U.S. and then eventually you'll see things out here. I also follow what happens in California, because what happens in California is totally different than what's happening on the East Coast. You know, the styles, the trends, you know, the weather is totally different.
Well,
So
not lately.
no,
Don't a
not
lot of
lately.
galas and like large world renowned events that happen out here partake and play a part? Like if somebody wears the new something at the Met Gala or at the Emmys or at the Grammys or something, then they're like trickles down too.
Absolutely.
And I know Fashion Week is majorly important, but is that more global?
I would say it is global, because you have Fashion Week in New York, you have Fashion Week in Miami, you've got Fashion Week in Chicago, you've got it in Texas, you've got it out here, you know, and then you have it in Europe. Do you know what I mean? So it just depends. Right now, you're looking at, most designers have shown for resort already. So they're now getting ready to prepare for their next season, which would probably be spring, fall.
Wow.
And then, but not only that, you have Chinese New Year coming, so you have to prepare, because everything shuts down. You've got to get everything completed and done before the end of January, because come February, it's Chinese New Year. And when that happens, everything shuts down and then they begin again. So it's,
Sound like Donald Trump right now.
no,
Well, the
that's,
way it's looking, them
I
ships,
mean-
them ships are delayed.
well, a lot of things are stuck in ports too. They're having problems getting their merchandise and their products to the actual retail stores. So it's tough. It's
So
not
why
easy.
is it so much cheaper there, and why can't we do it cheaper here? Let's talk about that for a minute.
Because almost, I want to say 30 to 40 years ago, our government decided to sign certain deals and everything started going overseas. They started doing 807 operations, which means they would cut here in the U.S. and send it outside the U.S., have it assembled and bring it back in, and you pay X amount of dollars with customs for an assembled good. So there are tax advantages as to why we did that. A lot of our manufacturing used to be here in the States, and they started sending everything overseas because it was much cheaper to do that, and then put it on a cargo ship and then let it sail over and get here. So as a
Taxes
result,
again.
and it's all about the
Wow.
taxes.
Can we
and
get
it's-
you and the Donald on the ticket, and I'll vote for you.
Right? I mean, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man.
It's a, do you know what most people think? Fashion is so glamorous. It's a business. It's a business
No,
first.
it is. But you know what? I was just thinking something when you said that because I was watching this business thing with Damon John. It's like a commercial or something. He had on a bunch of hats, and he talked about, how he started out making his first hat, and then selling his first hat, and then making his other hats, and then he went and got to the influencers and had them start wearing his hats. And then so many orders came in that he couldn't fill the orders, and that's when investors came in. So like
That's
you just
right.
said, it's straight on business, but that came from American streets up.
That's right.
Didn't come from Europe
That's right.
to the fashion. It didn't
That's
come
right.
from China. It came from the American streets up. But it's the same business model that you speak of.
Absolutely.
It's like Halston, the designer, same. He started with hats, and once he had the first lady or someone wear it, and then he got the recognition, and then the investors came in, and he kind of got lowballed and on then out of it because he had sold his business and he had no control over it anymore. He didn't own his name anymore, and I was like, dang. So that opened my eyes and taught me a lot. If I was to ever get into that side of the business, like you gotta.
I would probably get in trouble for this, but a lot of designers that have their names, a lot of them don't know how to design, and what they do is they license their names, and they have design students that come right out of college, and they're assistant designers that are usually doing most of the work behind the scenes, and most people don't even realize that. Yeah,
That's the Dr. Fauci of design.
it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Most people don't realize. Yeah.
I can believe it.
I do believe it.
I could tell you so many companies but I'd probably get in trouble, so I won't.
Well,
Don't do it.
just like with that Kanye West interview, it's not to expose anybody, but he says it. All of his people he brought in to create Yeezys and to create the stuff that he was being successful at, all went on to go do Louis Vuitton, and they're the top designers. So he had talented designers and put them in position from utilizing his name, and now he's known as one of the top designers.
Exactly.
But it was like all of these people who were actually designing.
Yeah, they usually, most of them are assistant designers.
So the Virgil guy.
Yeah,
worked,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that eventually will create a concept, do all the designing, everything that goes behind the scenes, and then eventually, when they have an opportunity and they can fly, a lot of them will take the opportunity
for them,
to do
though.
that. Yeah,
I think that's well
I
deserved.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, when I went to Europe, I was trying to buy everything up in them stores. Because I was like, what? You going to give me my taxes back? You going to cut me a check for shopping here? Where I sign up. I was
You
like,
ready to sign up?
they was like, but if you buy Louis, they might stop you. And I was like, well, then I don't want Louis because I don't want to be stopped.
Right. Nobody wants to be stopped.
Uh-uh.
Just put lipstick on it. Make believe you had it. Always put lipstick on everything.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, I
But
do-
not with a mask on.
Oh my God. now
Make it
we're
very
doing
hard.
masks.
Make
Yeah.
it very
We're now
hard.
doing masks.
You gotta start putting lipstick on your eyebrows.
Be batting my eyebrows like, hubba.
Doing masks.
But they now make you scan a machine. They don't even want to interact with you. Like you just scan the machine, and if you have error, then you may go to the desk. But the other one, they were like, drop it in a box. I said, drop it in a box? How I know somebody gonna get to it? So, me, I was like, I took my phone, I was like, let me take a picture, timestamp in front of it with the envelope. I'm driving it in the box. Like, It took 2 months for me to get the payout. Like I literally just got it.
Drop what in the box?
You fill out like it's like you get your receipt and it's a tax form. So like when you purchase any goods, over there, if you pay cash, it's like 10.8% you get back on that purchase,
okay.
and if you use a credit card, you get 12.5% back on that purchase. So you're talking euros versus
Yeah,
Is
dollars.
that
exactly.
you're an
yeah.
American?
If you're
Yeah.
American or
Okay.
you're not a citizen,
Yeah.
from there.
So you have to be using U.S. dollars to get it back, or
If you use it's easier to use your credit,
Credit
card,
card,
and they just
yeah.
convert it over for
Yeah.
you, and then on the form they ask for your ID, your passport, all that information, so they have record of it. And obviously you can't like buy but so much. You want to
Sure.
make sure you're not bringing it here and sell it. But I mean, to get your money back, that'll never happen here in the U.S. So
No.
when somebody said you get a refund from a
Yeah,
purchase, I was
absolutely.
like, what? Swipe my card and I get credit, like I'm getting credit back. So I start calculating that up. I said, oh, $600 back just from shopping. Come on, look at it that way. I might have spent a couple thousand, but I got $600 back for shopping. Come on.
yeah, they finessed you.
They finesse me. They may have. But
I'm
let me
gonna
tell
give you
you.
6,600.
But no,
Just
no,
give
no.
me 600 back.
But no. Okay, so it was these Dolce & Gabbana shoes that I really wanted. They were sold out here, and they had them there, and it was like $250 cheaper
Oh,
in
yeah.
Europe.
Yeah.
And I got the tax refund.
That's a deal.
I was
Yeah, that's
winning.
true. That's
I said,
true.
and they're in season. It's not an outlet. It's not an outlet shoe. I was like, oh, wait till I wear these. I'm going to put it on now. Okay. And then the YSL, I went to the store in Beverly Hills, and I was like, I bought the black bag, but I really wanted the pistachio. Can I please exchange it? And the guy was like, oh, we don't even have that color. So I was like, dang, I should have got it when I was in Europe.
Wow.
That would have been real exclusive. You understand?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
do.
know,
I do.
I was just so mad at myself. He was like, it's still in the warehouse in Milan.
In Milan, Jersey.
No,
No.
Can you imagine? I have to tell you though, I am so proud of Akil holding his own with all these women around. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you keep up, but you are definitely a delight to work with. A total professional, and when he gets his voice deep, he makes everybody falter on stage. All those strong black men that are doing stand-up comedy, Akil's like, you better take control. They're like, what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? And then
Wait, he said that on Friday.
yeah, he did. He was like, you gotta take control. And, I don't know. They started turning around looking at their phones. They were like, what was I gonna do? Would you do that on television?
No.
No.
You
No.
can't disconnect.
No.
But we have a lot more to say. And the one thing I do want to say is I want to thank Wes Fakar for being here. Wes, thank you so much for all
Yes.
Yeah.
coming through and doing something great. And it means so much to have Akil here and to have you here as well to make us beautiful.
Of
And Jade,
course. Of
you
course.
and I, of course, do love the fact that we're able to work together
Absolutely.
after so many years of you going to Paris and me staying in Patterson. But may the best woman win. She won all the time. But I was Miss Congeniality. So I hope you guys come visit us again. And,
She makes North Carolina seem like she's still winning.
I know she's still winning. I know we should be there.
We should be there.
We should be there right now. Just tell them whether we can find you on Instagram.
I am on Jade's Creative Concepts on IG.
Yes. And where can we find you?
In the Black Productions. Well, actually with no S. In the Black Production on IG.
And you can find me at Tasha N as in Nancy. Counts like 1, 2, 3. That's me.
Oh my God! It counts 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And you can find us on Talk Show on the Go, and everything is under the LA School of Comedy. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you, and we're out. Thank you, Wes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're good, Akil.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say you could have faded the black. You could fade the black. You fade the black. FTB. Right there, the one on the right, the big one on the right. You got it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Feed the black, feed the black.
FTV a little earlier.
So were we live tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So that's great. We got something done.
Do we sound good?
Yeah, how do we sound?
Okay.